College is like a fountain of knowledge, and students are there to drink. One of the most important transitions I made in life is that from school to college. And the most memorable aspect of that transition is how a metropolitan kid like me has been converted to a true Tarheel. UNC Chapel Hill has truly been a multi-sensory experience for me. And with that, I leave you to enjoy the show. I was born in the world's largest democracy, grew up in two very different constitutional monarchies, and am currently living in a small city called Chapel Hill in a constitutional republic. Transitions have been plenty in my life as my family moved from country to country to country, and our lifestyles changed every time. This time, however, was special. My family was no longer with me. It was my first taste of my life, molded by my perspectives, my values, and most importantly, my hyperactive imagination. I was used to a very different lifestyle. The Thames and the London Eye were some of the sights I saw frequently. Big Ben and posh British accents were sounds I heard. Fish and chips and crumpets were a feast to my taste buds. And football, or soccer as it is referred to as here, and cricket were my favorite sport. Through this video, I mean to portray but a few of the memorable incidences and experiences I've had the opportunity to have through the course of the past few months. The months in which I have lived and experienced the college lifestyle as it is here at UNC. I've never been a staunch believer of superstitions, but the chance of getting straight A's was too much of a temptation for even me to resist. I was one of the many that took a sip from the old well on the first day of classes. A chance to revel in the surroundings that many famous astronauts learned in. To look not only up but into the sky and take a peek at the untold mysteries which fill it, and to proudly say that I belong to the university of which it is a part, is but another one of the many attractions that the university has for me. My first reaction was one of utter disbelief. Who ever heard of frying candy? But fried candy bars are but one of the many fried foods I've grown to love over the past few months. I began this semester dabbing the grilled cheese sandwiches with paper napkins to soak away the grease, but now, a few pounds heavier, I realize that I've begun to relish them in all their fatty content. One could not have a complete UNC experience without trying the Vermonster at Ben & Jerry's. 20 scoops of ice creams, various different toppings, and tons of whipped cream later. I would love to do it all over again. I would be lying if I said I understood football. I don't understand why people ram into each other. I don't understand why plays stopped every 5 seconds. I don't understand why fouls exist when the whole point of the game seems to be to take the person with the ball down. Having said that, however, I go to football games. I go to feel the passion that is 60,000 people on their feet cheering for their team. The spirit that echoes throughout the campus as a touchdown is scored, and the love that exists between friends and families that turn up in full force with tons of food and drink to spend a fun day out together. It is but the sad truth that before coming to UNC, I'd never watched a professional basketball game ever. I'd played basketball for quite a few years, but it was not until that I actually stood in those risers at Dean Dome that I understood what basketball was all about, the way it is here. It's all about unity, passion, determination, and the coalescing of physical, mental, and emotional energies to create a stunning display of skill and agility by the players, and a stupendous display of enthusiasm by the fans. UNC has literally redefined the basketball experience for me. I must confess, a small shared room was something I least looked forward to before college. Now, I call that space home. There's something about going back to my room at the end of a long day that makes me feel warm and comforted. It's my little space to decorate, mess, clean, clutter, and do as I liked with on this huge campus. The changing smells of fresh shampoo, cooking pasta, or that rotten apple I can't be bothered to throw away create a sense of homeliness that I've grown to love. Every morning, I clamber out of bed, into trainers, and set out for a morning run in the woods near my dorm. The sound of the fallen leaves crunching under my feet, the sight of the few cars and people that arise at such God-forsaken hours as I do, and the smell, the wonderful smell of the moist soil squelching under my shoes. Who doesn't love the boys in beige trousers and blazers? And that's why I saved the best for the last. The Cliffhangers were my first experience of a cappella, given that I'd only ever heard of beatboxing before that. I remember the feeling of my skin tingling with goosebumps the first time I heard them sing Africa. The exquisite sound that filled the atmosphere with a sense of pride and belonging. Pride to be part of such a talented community, and belonging to the surroundings which contain it. Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine? So I'm going to Carolina. Dark inside. I saw, I felt, I heard, I tasted, I smelled. I experienced Carolina as every other student would have, in a unique way. As the first semester draws to a close, I reflect upon fond memories and look forward to a delightful future here at Carolina. What I've experienced so far excites me and tempts me to explore further. I always wondered what I would make of UNC. I can somewhat answer that question now. UNC is an experience, a holistic experience where I get to meet people from all parts of the world, share my ideas on a platform of innovation and creativity, whilst at the same time gain knowledge from renowned faculty. I couldn't have asked for better. All that remains now is for me to see what UNC will make of me.